that's a good segue into number 44. This is The Cure, a band. I don't know if Holly, are you familiar with this band? Cure? I believe this is Holly's
He's
favorite
joking.
band. Um,
With this video, oh my god, you'll never see Robert Smith more clearly than this. Did you watch the video, Bob? This is in HD.
I can't say I watched the
Oh,
video.
okay. Only because Dave was kind enough to attach it for us. But yeah, it's just crisp and clear, and wow.
yeah,
How did you feel about The Cure's performance at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony?
Um, I I I hoped for more. I guess I hoped for more different. I mean,
how so? What do you mean by that? What were you expecting?
um, well, what are you asking me specifically? If I how I
No, I mean, this maybe goes back a little bit to, and I've seen The Cure kind of in their heyday, but I wasn't blown away by that. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more. Um, there seemed to be some reluctance to sort of really play the hits.
like yeah yeah. I don't know what
And
it
by
was.
hits, you know what I mean? But
They did have hits. I mean, yeah, they
Well,
had a
and he
lot.
says that some of the songs some of the biggest hits he just doesn't enjoy them. He doesn't like. I think Friday I'm in Love, which also is not one of my favorites, but he's a little reluctant to play it.
But he did
Um,
play that when we saw him. He did there was a Cure festival that we went to a few years back. And I thought they were great. And they played those hits,
yeah,
like Friday I'm in Love.
I don't need to hear Friday I'm in Love. What I
yeah,
would
me
like to
either.
hear, I would like to hear A Night Like This.
Mm.
I'd like to hear Cut. I'd like to hear so many Cure songs. Fight, fight, fight. I mean,
But he
Six
does.
different ways. I live 6 different ways. It just
Yeah, their shows are now like 3 hours long, though. I mean, they do expand on those, and I guess maybe at the Rock Hall performance, he just wanted to emphasize on something else.
I'm
What
not sure what the goal. I can't.
what didn't you like about? I take it you didn't like the performance, Bob. Here's
I mean, I don't know. I was excited that, The Cure were actually being embraced by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I kind of, um, I don't know. I guess I was hoping for more big guitars from The Cure, which I think they do exceedingly well.
Yeah, I saw them a couple of years ago, a few pre-pandemic, obviously at the Hollywood Bowl, and they were great. They sounded fantastic, and you got the big guitars, and it was a good song choice. And I think they were forced to play because the hits, as Dave and I have discussed a lot, um, those are not my favorite either. And I appreciate that they play them, and I know the audience wants them, but I always wish they went a lot deeper than they do when they play in public.
well, yeah, the Rock Hall is their opportunity to showcase, have people remember songs, and then they can go to the concert, and then they can play, their obscure. You could play 17 seconds or whatever they want to play.
A Forest.
The Forest,
Yeah.
yes.
Mm.
And that opportunity is going to come up because hopefully, like Tears for Fears, they're coming out with a new album.
Yeah.
I think I heard an interview. He's got like two in the can that are ready to come out.
And I think that's true.
Yeah, so meaning
His
we're going to see
voice
the Cure
also,
again.
his voice sounds really good, really strong. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I was happy with their. That was the first time I saw the Cure in 2018, I guess that was.
We went to that festival.
Whenever,
Yeah.
whenever we did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert Smith curates his own festival. I think there's one in England, and then he did one in Los Angeles, and it was great.
Yeah.
Pixies and
Do you like this album? I love this album. Do you, Bob? Do you like this album? Head on
The
the
Head on the
Door.
Door.
Yeah.
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 What is your
Yeah.
favorite? Do you have a favorite Cure album since you seem to be a big fan?
I am kind of partial to Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. I think it was really ambitious double record, and there was another album that I think, I'm gonna say, whatever it was on Elektra in 1995 or so. Oh, what's the name of that album?
It was after. Was that after Fascinations?
Yeah.
After
Well,
Fascination Street.
Fascination Street, obviously hard to have a conversation about the Cure without talking about that
Disintegration. Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
disintegration.
Disintegration. Yes.
But
Come on, I'm the
Yes.
third biggest Cure fan in this conversation. I should.
Yeah. Well, you knew what I was talking about.
Yes, I did. What was it? Yeah, 95. Do you remember, Holly? If and that's 95.
Oh.
That was an interesting time for alternative. Where the HFF.
so the first song on that record was Open, and then it was followed by another track called Cut. And they were both like 7-minute long, big guitar records. And I remember someone, John Lachey, who worked for Elektra at the time, coming down to DC and renting out a studio, a recording studio, so he could play this record for us. And at eardrum busting volume. And it was just like, he had just returned from France where they recorded this record in a chalet. And I was like, John, who's one of my dear friends, was like, so you spent 3 weeks with the Cure. What was that like? A